All right, imagine this. You own a business that is pulling in thousands of dollars every single month. It feels incredible, right? But then someone taps you on the shoulder and asks, so how much profit did you actually make? And suddenly, you just freeze. You have absolutely no idea. It sounds crazy, but thousands of businesses fail precisely because they don't know how to track their numbers. But here's the secret. Business is actually exciting when you finally know the rules of the game. So today, in this explainer, we are going to learn the language of business money. We're getting you set up with the ultimate financial management toolkit so you can step into the business world with absolute confidence. Let's say you just opened a brand new, buzzing little coffee shop. In month one, you receive $15,000 from your happy customers. Awesome. But almost immediately, you get hit with some steep costs. You drop $5,000 on rent, $3,000 paying your baristas, and another $2,000 just on coffee beans and ingredients. So looking at those numbers, I really have to ask, did you make money? Can you answer that instantly? Because if you're just staring at a stack of bills and a busy cash register, probably not. And that's exactly the anxiety of flying blind. When you aren't tracking your finances, you literally have no idea if you're building an empire or just slowly digging a hole. To make sure you never have to fly blind, here is our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at flying blind in business, the language of business, using data to make decisions, the 3 financial statements, a tale of 2 restaurants, and finally, how to start measuring your success.
Starting off with Section 1, Flying Blind in Business.
Without accurate tracking, you simply cannot know your true profit, your available cash, or the actual value of your business. So let's decode those coffee shop numbers to solve our mystery. First up, we have revenue. This is just the money earned by a business. That $15,000 you pulled in from selling lattes, that is your revenue. It's the baseline of all the cash flowing in.
But it costs money to make money. That brings us to expenses, which are the costs incurred by the business. Your rent, the salaries, those ingredients, these are your expenses, and they are constantly taking a bite out of that cash you just brought in.
And that leads us to the absolute most important equation in business, profit. Profit is simply your revenue minus your expenses. So let's do the math. $15,000 in revenue minus $10,000 in total expenses leaves you with $5,000. Boom! Congratulations, your coffee shop succeeded this month. Moving right along to Section 2, the language of business. So how do successful companies turn all this daily financial chaos into hard facts? They use accounting. Accounting is the process of recording, classifying, and summarizing financial transactions. A lot of people think it's all complicated math, but it's really not. Honestly, think of it like a business diary. Every single event, from selling a product to paying a worker to taking out a loan, gets jotted down right here in this diary. And this diary is incredibly powerful because it answers 4 vital questions. How much money are we making? Are our expenses way too high? Do we actually have enough cash on hand? And should we expand? With accounting, these critical survival questions transform from stressful late-night guesses into solid facts. Because if you want to win, you've got to make decisions based on facts, not feelings. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, using data to make decisions. Now, there's a massive difference between recording the past and actively shaping the future. Accounting is essentially your scorekeeper. It just records the score of the game. But financial management, that's the coach. The coach looks at that scoreboard and decides exactly what play to run next to win the game, maximize profits, and increase the overall value of the business. So, what does this coach actually do all day? Well, financial management revolves around 3 key decisions. First, investing. Should we buy a new espresso machine or open a second store? Second, financing. Where is the money coming from? Should we use our own cash, find investors, or get a bank loan? And third, operating. How much milk should we order? Who should we hire? How can we cut costs? These choices happen every single day, and solid financial management is what guides them safely. Next up is Section 4, the 3 financial statements. Think of these 3 statements as the ultimate dashboard for any business. The income statement shows your revenue, expenses, and profit, basically answering, did we make money? The balance sheet shows assets, liabilities, and owner's equity, answering what do we own and what do we owe. And finally, the cash flow statement. This one simply tracks the actual cash coming in and going out. Listen, pay very close attention to this third one. Seriously, a lot of highly profitable businesses go under simply because they run out of cash before payday. Cash is absolutely king. Let's see this in the real world with Section 5, a tale of 2 restaurants. Picture this scenario side by side. Restaurant A treats their business like a science. They track every penny, use accounting software, regularly review those 3 financial statements, and strictly control their expenses. Now, Restaurant B, they just shove crumpled receipts into a drawer, never check their true costs, and make decisions purely on gut feelings. Which one survives? Obviously, Restaurant A. Better information directly leads to better decisions. Restaurant B is flying totally blind and is, tragically, doomed to fail.
Let's wrap this up with Section 6. Start measuring your success.
You really don't need a massive corporation to start acting like a CEO today. Here is a super simple, actionable 3-step playbook to empower your own financial journey. Step 1. Track every single dollar you spend. Be your own scorekeeper. Step 2. Create a simple budget to plan your spending. Be your own coach. And Step 3. Review your finances every single week. The exact same principles that save multi-million-dollar businesses work beautifully for your personal wallet too. If you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, remember this golden rule of business. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Seriously, if you aren't measuring it, you're just guessing. But the second you start measuring it, you have the power to control it and master it. So, you've got the toolkit now. I want to leave you with a quick question to get those entrepreneurial gears turning. What business would you start if money wasn't a problem? Really think about it, because with the right financial management skills, building that empire is a lot closer than you might think. Keep learning, stay curious, and I can't wait to see what you all build. See you in the next explainer.